In this video, let us solve an easy problem from the HackerRank website. It is a simple array sum. Let's get to the problem. So you will be presented with the program and with a placeholder where you can implement the method. So let's go through the method here. It's a public method definitely, and it's a static method. It's a class level method that's mentioned here. As you can see down below, result dot simple array sum. Without creating an object, the method is being invoked right at the class level, and that is facilitated because the method is declared as static, and that allows calling a class to be able to call this method simple array sum at the class level by directly mentioning the class name here, something like this, result dot simple array sum, and it is expected to return an integer value. Of course, this is the name of the method. It accepts a list of integer objects. As you may already know, capital INTEGER is an object, whereas int is a built-in primitive within the Java program. Both are readily available within the Java program. We do not have to implement this INTEGER capital integer class. It's already there within the Java program, the programming language. So let's get to the implementation of it. To begin with, I am going to declare a variable int sum to hold the sum of the values contained in the input list. So I'm going to initialize that to 0, then go through the list of values in the input list. I'm going to use a for loop for int num :ar. Now this for loop structure allows me to go through the entire list from start to finish, and as it's going through the list, values are contained within this num variable. So I'm going to add those values to the sum variable, sum plus equals num, and once I go through the entire list, the sum value is to be returned. Return sum. Let's run this once. All right, here is the sample input data set. 6 values are sent in a list, and the output of the program is 31. Expected output is 31. Congratulations. Great. Let's go through the program once, how we have done, what we have done. So a few things. The for loop comes in a couple of flavors. This is one such flavor. I like it. It's simpler, and you could also implement the same for loop in this fashion: int I equals 0, I less than ar dot size, and then I plus plus. So what we're essentially doing here is we are starting from the very beginning, which is 0, all the way to the end of the list, and this I points to the location, so we just need to fetch the value from that location and add to the sum. So sum plus equals ar dot get I. So that would also give us the same result. Let's comment out the previous for loop and then see if this one works. Yes, it produces the same result. Great. Now there is one more. Let's comment this second variation and then uncomment the first one. So there is one more observation that I'd like to share with you, which is as you may have seen, the input list contains objects, whereas the return is a primitive int value. Here we are not doing any sort of conversion from integer to int as we are performing the arithmetic. Ideally, one would expect something like this to be a part of the program, which is as we are fetching values from the list, something like this would be expected. Something like I would do int temp equals num dot int value, something like this. This would convert the integer object to primitive int in order to facilitate arithmetic operations, and ideally that's what is required. The same thing happens but in an implicit manner. So in other words, the unboxing of the integer object to the primitive int automatically take place whenever an arithmetic operation is performed. In this case, sum plus equals num, it is an arithmetic operation. Whenever something like this is present, the automatic conversion of integer to int takes place. So we do not need to explicitly convert integer object to the primitive int value. So it all happens automatically inside this for loop.